So to create the fusible applique portions of our projects, on the simple curvy woven project with the flowers, you have a little bit of extra fusible left over in your kit. You're going to lay this down on top of the leaf and stem patterns that are part of your kit. Using a pen, a Sharpie, pencil will work too, but you want to just make sure that you're going to be able to see those lines after you have fused them onto your dark green fabric. So by using something that has a nice, good, solid edge, you'll have a better chance of actually seeing those lines once this is fused down onto darker fabric. If you would rather create leaves of your own, feel free to even just freeform cut leaves or use a different style of leaf for your patterning. Once you have them drawn out on your fusible, I'm going to take that green fabric, and again, this is a fabric that is a batik, so it's pretty on both sides, but you get to choose which side you like the best. If you see a difference, there can sometimes be a bit of a difference between sides. If there's really not a difference, then you don't have to worry about it. Again, I'm working on top of an applique pressing sheet, so I don't have to be concerned about the glue coming off the edge. If you're not working on a pressing sheet, you're going to either want to be using some parchment paper underneath, or you're going to trim your fusible really close to these edges so it's not going to come off the edge of the fabric. But because I'm on a pressing sheet, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to just do the same thing we did before, which is press and heat up this glue onto the fabric. And again, you can see a difference in the change of the fusible, what hasn't bonded versus what has. Let that cool for a second. And then we will peel that up and cut these shapes out directly on the lines. Then we'll have all of our stems and our leaves fused onto the fabric and ready to go. See, this is the beauty of the Teflon sheet. It'll just peel right up, and you can just, any extra glue that would have inadvertently hooked to your iron or cloth will now just disappear. I'm going to save this extra little bit of fusible because it can come in handy for our flowers. If you just want to do a simple applique without any extra batting or anything for your flowers, you can simply put a little bit of fusible behind your flowers to hold them down in place. Or you can even use a glue stick. But this will just give you a little bit of a hold for your flower so that when you go to applique your flower onto your fabric, and again, I'm going to cut around. You can put more fusible than this around the side, but honestly, you just need a little bit to hold things down. So now we have a simple little flower applique. Has a little bit of fusible on the back so that when we go to stick it down, it will be nice and sticky in order for us to stitch it. But we're also going to talk about the option of actually putting a little bit of batting and doing some stitching on our flowers before we put them down on our project. And now we have all of our leaves and stems cut out, ready for our flowers. For those working on the half circle weave, we have our water fabric and we have our mountain fabric. And again, we're just going to lay down fusible on top of this pattern and roughly trace out these designs. Again, if you want to change up your design a little bit, maybe make a mountain a little bit more of the shape of something that's close to you, change your water into meadow, all of these things are at your disposal. Creativity knows no bounds. Because these are going onto two separate fabrics, I'm going to trim these apart. I'm not cutting on the line yet. I'm just doing a rough cut outside the line so that my fusible will fit better on my fabric. Take our mountain fabric piece, get any creases out that may be on there, and then simply lay down our fusible on top of the fabric and give it a good, nice press. And same thing for our water. Now we will take these shapes and we will cut them out directly on the line. Remember that no one is holding the pattern up to your finished project. If your cut line is not exactly your drawn line, no one's going to know.